So you should check it out because it's totally different. So I've got the link there to the website there on the top, and then I've just also got a link to the calendar. I'm assuming, Isla, that people will have access to this presentation after. Is that right?
Yeah, access to the presentation. We're also recording every session, so that'll be posted on our D2L for students who couldn't attend to watch after.
Perfect. Okay, great. So just a quick overview. I'm sure everyone here probably already knows all this because you're already interested in computer science, but computing is obviously part of everything we do every day, from using our smartphones to writing email to social media. Everything involves computing. The computer science program offers opportunities for creativity, innovation. There's all kinds of different areas of life that computer science can be applied. And there's many job opportunities for computer science graduates. We have students that do everything from become high school teachers to become researchers, programmers, project managers, cybersecurity experts, all kinds of different job opportunities and career paths. So within the MUN Computer Science department, our department has grown significantly in the last 5 years. We've got over 300 majors now. It used to be a pretty small department, but now it's way bigger. We've got 19 faculty members, and we're still looking right now. We've still got some gaps that we're looking to fill, so that's going to continue to grow. And we have a number of different program options, including a co-op program, which I'll talk about a little more later, give some information on that. So the program options that we have a general major in computer science, and that can be done as a Bachelor of Science degree or a Bachelor of Arts. Either way, you're going to graduate with a computer science degree. We've also got two streams. So we've got one in smart systems and one in visual computing and gaming. Those programs can only be done as a Bachelor of Science. And essentially, it's the same number of computer science courses, but it's basically you just have to take certain courses at the higher levels, courses that are tailored to either smart systems or visual computing and gaming. We've got the cooperative internship program, as I mentioned, and we've got a number of joint majors with economics, geography, math, physics, and statistics. And we've got an honors program, which can be done as a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts. And then we also have a computer science minor. So here's a link to the calendar, which contains all the course requirements for each program. So if there's a specific program you're interested in, you can get that information from the calendar. If people would find it useful at the end, we can take a look at the calendar. I don't know if that's a good use of time or not. I know students sometimes seem confused by the calendar, so it may be worthwhile checking it out, or maybe it's better for you to look on your own after, I'm not sure. So the computer science major is competitive. It's a newly competitive major. So up until 3 years ago, anyone who wanted to do computer science could just declare themselves a computer science major at any point. That's not the way it is now. So now we've got some minimum requirements that students must meet in order to be eligible for our major. So there are 24 credit hours that must be completed in order to be eligible, and they're listed right there. There's 2 computer science courses, 6 credit hours in critical reading and writing courses, at least 3 must be in English, 2 math calculus courses are required, and then 6 credit hours that can be in any courses, in any subject. It can be arts, science, anything at all you want. And one thing that I should have included here, which I'm realizing now is missing, another requirement for eligibility is that students must receive at least a 65 average between Computer Science 1001 and 1002. So you don't need to get a 65 in each course, but the average between those two final grades must be at least a 65 or you won't be considered eligible. So what we do is we take all the eligible applicants and we rank them by average, and then we select the top students. And the application deadline is June 1st, so it's a yearly admission. Last year we had, I think it was about, oh gosh, I can't remember. I think it was about 250 or 200, maybe around 200 applicants. And we took 105, I think it was last year. So it is quite competitive. So I'll talk a little more now about the co-op program because I have a lot of students ask me about this program. A lot of students are really interested in the computer science co-op program. So the co-op program is managed by a different department. There's a co-op office here at Memorial University, and they manage the co-op programs for all of science and all of arts. So they actually handle the applications and the admission and that kind of thing. So I'm going to tell you some information, but if you're really looking for more details, I would refer you to them. So in order to be eligible, and this is all in the calendar as well, a student must be a computer science major, so you must have been admitted to the major. You must be registered as a full-time student at the time of your application, and you must have completed all of the required 1,000 level, 2,000 level courses and 6 credit at the 3,000 level before you start your work term. You must have at least 15 credit hours remaining after your internship is over. So you can't do your internship at the end of your degree. You've got to come back for at least one more semester where you take 5 courses, and at least one of those courses has to be computer science. And as, I mean, it's kind of implied there, you're expected to return to MUN as a full-time student after the internship. So again, you can't end your degree with your internship, with your work term. So the internships in computer science can be 8-month, 12-month, or 16-month. Usually what happens is a student begins an 8-month internship, and then if the student and the employer, if it's working out and if they want to extend it, normally they're extended to 12 or 16 months. That's usually how students get the long internships, but sometimes there is a job posted that will be 12 or 16 months, but most of them are 8 months initially. There is admission each semester to the computer science co-op program. Admission is determined by a bunch of different things, and this is the part that's a little fuzzy to me, so the co-op office handles this, but I know they look at the student grades, and I know they weight the computer science grades higher than others. They also look at work experience. They also look at different things like, well, your resume, your cover letter, and if you include anything there about any special projects you've worked on, maybe as part of a course or maybe on your own time. So they look at a number of things. It's not just grades and it's not just work experience. And like I said, the program is managed by the co-op department, so they're the ones that actually do the admission. So we also have a lot of research opportunities in the computer science department. This is just a couple of examples. There's all kinds of different research that's being worked on here. So an honors degree would allow you to work with a faculty member and perform research with them. So we've got researchers doing things like building machine learning models for human activity detection, so looking at gait analysis, hand gesture recognition, that kind of thing. We've got researchers using swarms of robots to organize objects. We've got people modeling diseases. We've got people looking at speech, language, pathology and software and that kind of thing. So there's all kinds of different research opportunities. And normally you would get into those research opportunities by doing an honors degree. There's an active computer science society. They have accounts on Discord, Facebook, GitHub. There's lots of members that are at a senior level and they can help with all kinds of different courses at the first and second year. Students go to them a lot to get help. We also have a help center, but students go to the society as well. They can give you different advice on the different computer science programs, that kind of thing. Sometimes some of the faculty and staff even hang out there, so you might get to know them. And that's the link to the MUN Computer Science Society there. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. If people have questions, I can talk about it a little more, but I do find sometimes students are a little confused by our first year courses. So I just wanted to kind of go through it quickly. We've got 4 courses at the 1,000 level. Our 1,000 course is really just an introduction course. It's not required for the degree. It would be an elective. A lot of our students do take computer science 1,000, but it's just used as a science elective. It's not required for major admission. It's not required for the degree. Then we've got 1,001, which is an introduction to programming. So that's your first programming course. And we've got 1,002, which is a logic course. So these, and then we've got, 1,003. So that builds on 1,001 and 1,002, but mainly 1,001. So that goes further with programming and gets a little deeper into the computer science concepts taught in 1,001 and 1,002. 1,001 and 1,002 are the 2 courses that are required for major eligibility. 1001 is not considered, and you don't have to have completed 1003 in order to be eligible for the major. A lot of students think that you need 1003 as well completed, but you absolutely don't. And again, I'm just including a link to the calendar so you can see this information. You can see what courses are required for eligibility, and you can get some more information on those individual courses. Like I said in the beginning, our computer science undergrad website has been redone. We've got a lot of information on major and honors admission. We've got all of our programs listed and lots of info on all those programs. Our FAQ is pretty detailed. We've got questions on different course requirements. Basically, the questions I was getting from students repeatedly, I just threw them on the FAQ. So questions about what courses count as a CRW, what type of laptop should I get if I'm doing computer science, what's the minimum grade required for admission, like all kinds of good information is on the FAQ. And we also have, for every computer science course, we've got a page on that course, which includes a lot more details than the calendar. So it's got a course description. Most of them have like a typical course outline, topics that will be taught in the courses, prerequisites for the course, that kind of thing. That's all on our website. And then that's it. So I don't know if there's some questions. I know I went through that a little bit quickly.
Yeah, if any student has a question that they want to ask, they can just throw it in the chat. I know sometimes you might not want to ask a question in a WebEx session. So Kathy, do you want to throw in the computer science advice email if students have any questions they want to ask personally?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm just putting it in the chat now. There it is.
So yeah, there's the email if you guys want to go ahead and ask any questions that maybe you think of after the session. Now, also, if he doesn't mind, I was wondering if Hassam could speak a little bit about student life as a computer science, some of your experience, just some things you enjoyed about it, some things that you struggled with, just so students can hear a little bit more from the student aspect.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm doing a joint honors or a joint major for now in computer science and physics, and it's pretty interesting. Now, talking about computer science, the society is very active, especially on Discord, so I would advise people to join the Discord server. They like over there they have like different channels for each and every first year course and second year course, so you'll find students like asking questions about assignments or getting help. And as Kathy said, sometimes also the professors or the staff will help as well, so it's pretty engaging. And I applied for the co-op program, and it was pretty competitive, as Kathy has mentioned as well. I believe the co-op like officers are looking for experience, are looking for projects. Like if you have done projects that are like create your own website or something on the side just to showcase that you're really interested, because that's what they say is um, is what like the employers are looking for as well. Um, because at the end of the day, when an employer comes in and tries to take a student from one, they don't want to see the same projects being done by each and every student. So they want a variety. So if anyone can do a project on the side, that would put them in advantage right ahead. Um, but at the end of the day, the co-op is a good experience too. Like if you get a job that's really nice, you're getting experience with a company, you're seeing how in the real life works, and like it's a really good experience, I would say. Um, yeah, join the computer science department. It's nice. That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Sam. So yeah, someone asks where I can get the Discord link, but someone put it in the chat there. So I think that's probably everything about computer science, unless anyone has any other questions they want to throw in the chat. I also want to let all the students here know that we do have another session today at 1 for physics. So if you want to learn a little bit more about physics, if you're interested in maybe majoring, minoring, or doing a joint like Hassan's doing, I would definitely advise you guys to join that session. So you get to meet two people from the physics department. So yeah, that's all we have today, unless Kathy wants to add anything else. But yeah, I want to thank Kathy for taking time out of your busy schedule for speaking to us a little bit more about computer science, and as well a thank you to Hassan for speaking on his experience.
Well, I did notice there's a question in the chat, so maybe we can
Yep.
answer that. So someone asked, what happens if a student can't qualify to do their major in computer science? So I can answer that question. So if a student applies to do the major and they don't get accepted, then there's not really an opportunity to get admitted to the major for another year. They would have to reapply in the following June. In the meantime, there's a bunch of math courses required for a computer science degree, so they could work on their math courses. There's a number of electives required for the degree. They can work on those. The first year computer science courses are open to everybody, so they could do 1003 if they haven't completed that one yet. But when we get into, and maybe I'll just share my browser actually, so then I can sort of show the course listing while I'm talking. I think you can see that there now, hey? You can see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Right, so if we look here, so this is the major in computer science, and this is the courses that are required. So there's 5 math courses required. So to be eligible for major admission, students would have done at least 1,000, maybe 1,001 as well. So they can work on the other 3 math courses throughout the year. They can work on electives. They can do 1,003 if they haven't completed it already. But when we get into the 2000 level courses, 2001, 2, and 3 are reserved just for majors. And what reserved means is that for the first few weeks after registration opens, only majors can register for those courses. Everyone else goes on a wait list. If there's space, so the reserve is in place for, it kind of depends on the semester. It's usually about 2.5 to 3 weeks. Once the reserve is lifted, if there's any space in the courses, then students from the wait list get automatically put into those courses. So we do have some students who aren't admitted to the major that can continue on and they get into 2001, 2, and 3, but very, very few. So you cannot count on that. Most likely you will not get into those. And if you don't take those courses, they're prerequisites for all the rest of the higher level CS courses. In the winter semester, we have less majors taking these courses, so there's a little more chance of getting into them in the winter semester. This fall, we had, I think it was less than 5 non-majors get into 2001, 2, and 3. In the winter, I expect it'll be a little more than that, but probably not a whole lot. So basically, I guess it's a long answer to say that if you don't get accepted into the major, there's a tiny chance you can continue on with 2000 level courses, but almost definitely you won't be able to. So you'll just have to work on electives and the required math courses. Or if you're doing a joint major or a double major, you could concentrate on the courses in the other major that you're taking. I can't see the chat anymore. I don't know if anyone's commenting on that.
Yes,
But
there
this,
is a student
okay.
who's trying to ask 2 questions.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if they will open the mic or if they will write it down, but
Can I use the microphone,
yes, go ahead.
please? I have 2 questions. The first one, it's about the computer science. So, you said something about 1,000 and 1,001. The thing is, I was too late to sign up for those. So, like the person I was emailing from the computer science department, he told me to take 1,090, and he says that would serve as it would be the same as taking 1,000.
You mean math 1090?
Yep, math 1090.
Right. Yeah. So if we look at the eligibility criteria, so you can do either math 1000 and 1001, or you can do math 1090 and 1000. So yeah, it's fine to do 1090 in the fall, and then you could do 1000 in the winter, and you'd be considered eligible for the major. Yeah, I don't really know much about the math courses and how it works. I don't know which students are able to register for 1090. I think there's like a math test you have to take, or maybe it depends on your high school mark. But yeah, if you can register for
Yeah,
1090, then that's great.
there used to be a test, but I think they took it up because of COVID, because I got in with the test.
Okay.
My other question is about so I'm taking all of the prerequisites for computer science this year. I was wondering, is there anything extra you can do to like ensure that you do get into the computer science major?
So for major admission, we only look at grades. We just look at which courses you've taken and your marks in those courses. We don't
Mhm.
look at, like, it's not like the co-op admission where we would look at, your job experience or anything like that. So not really. What I always tell students is just take courses as much as you can. I mean, I know we require certain courses, but for your electives, take courses that you think you have the highest chance of getting a high grade in. So I have a lot of students who feel like they've got to complete computer science 1001, 2, and 3, all three of them in their first year. So they usually do 1001 in the fall, and then in the winter they take 1002 and 1003 together. And that's fine, you can do that, but it's harder that way. Like 1003 is a heavy course, and so is 1002. Like they both have labs. The material is difficult. So I usually tell students, don't do that unless you feel really confident you're going to do really well, because it would be better for major admission for you to take just 1002 and then take a course that you would maybe find easier. Because the worst thing that could happen is you take a bunch of hard courses your first year and then your grades aren't as high as they could have been, and then you don't get admitted to the major. Because then, I mean, you're not really a year behind in a way, because you can still work on electives and math courses, but you're kind of a year behind in terms of the computer science courses, right? So just take electives that you think you'll do well in. So in terms of the courses that we're going to look at when we look at admission, we look at the overall average. So that is the average of every course you've ever taken, and your electives would factor in there. We're also having discussions about looking at a different average. I don't know exactly what that will be yet, so you can check in with me. Definitely in the winter semester, I'll know, even later in the fall. But we'll probably look at the average of just your computer science courses as well, the required courses. So I don't think we would look at 1000 because that's an elective.
Um,
But yeah, but I'm not certain about that. So check in with me in a couple months, because we have to talk about that with some of the
uh,
faculty and make a decision on that.
so I got one last question. I'm sorry, I know I said two, but
That's
here's
okay.
the last one. So, um, right, I'm dealing with my visa here. So I switched a lot of my classes are online, but I still did take computer science on campus. But I don't know if the visa might come or might not come. So what do I do? Will I be switched to online, or how does it work?
No, you won't be switched to online. So I'm going to pull up our website, um, because on there we've got information on which courses. So if you go to the computer science department website and you go to the undergrad tab, um, that's where all the info is on our undergrad program. So if you go to courses, we've got, I know I'm not totally answering your question, but I'm kind of going through the website first just because it's here. So we've got lots of information, like I said, on all of our courses. So at the 1000 level, if you click on a course, it's got a description, the representative workload, the topics, and then any special things about that course. So any credit restrictions, prerequisites, that kind of thing. And that's the same for all of our courses, 2000 level 3. So like if you went to 2001, for example, it would say there, this course is required for all CS majors and minors, but it will also say somewhere that it's reserved. I don't actually see it. I feel like it's there and I just can't see it. Well, anyway, I'll take a look after, because if it's not there, it should be. Um, this page should have all the special information on courses like that. But what I wanted to show you to answer your question, if you go to the tentative undergrad course offerings for 2021-2022, this is really up to date. As soon as there's a change, we update it right away. So this shows the fall 21 courses, and it shows which ones are remote, and there are very few. So we have one of our 1001 courses that has remote classes, but the labs and exams are on campus. We have another 1001 that's completely web-based. Everything is online. So if you are not going to be able to make it to Newfoundland, you're going to have to get into the online 1001. So that's not the one you're registered for now, I guess. Hey, you're registered for the in-class labs.
Yeah. So how do I register for that one? Are there spaces?
There weren't when I last looked, which was yesterday, but I expect that people will drop the course as we get closer to the semester, and usually we have people dropping that course even into the second week of classes. So I suggest keep checking self-service and you can grab a spot. Now with the in-person lab course, I know that they are making accommodations for students who are not here for the first couple weeks. In fact, I think pretty much everyone is, for all of our courses, everyone's trying to make accommodations for that. But if it goes past 2 weeks, I don't know if that can be accommodated or not. So if you have a question about that, then I would email the instructor because she'll be able to tell you for sure. But if you can't make it
Yeah,
here
I
at
guess
all, yeah.
I can. Like, my visa will probably come this September. So like in a week, so I could do it. So I'll look into that. Thank you for
Yeah, no problem.
answering that.
And
But I will have to be on campus for that.
okay. And we've had, I mean, all of the instructors, we've all met and talked about this, and we know this is going to be a problem because we have a lot of international students who are doing computer science degrees. So everybody is trying to be as accommodating as possible, but there is only so much that we can have students miss before it starts to really impact the course quality, right? So the individual instructors can let you know about the individual courses.
All right, thank you for that.
So
No
Bye.
problem. Bye.
do you have some questions in the chat? I'll just read them out since you're sharing your screen. One student asks, if I'm planning to do statistics and computer science as a joint major, how do I declare statistics after getting into the computer science major?
Yeah, that's a good question because all of the science departments have a different way of applying or declaring the major. So what I would do is I would email the math advisor, Math UGrad. I'm just putting that in the chat too. So it's kind of like you apply separately basically. So you would apply to computer science with our online form, which gets posted online in February, and we would admit you in June. And then math kind of has their own process. From what I understand, I think with math, the advisor just handles it. So I think if you email her, I guess I'm not sure if she requires a form or if just the email is enough, but she can let you know what to do. But you would apply separately.
Perfect. We also have another question. I answered this one privately, but it was just, in which year do students need to apply for their major? It's just the end of your first year. And like Kathy said in her slideshow, the application deadline is June 1st.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So you can apply. So most students do apply at the end of their first year, but we get students applying later as well. As long as you've got the courses that are required for eligibility and you've got the 65 minimum average and 1,000, 1,002, then you're considered eligible and you can apply. But like Isla said, we wouldn't admit you until June.
And then I'm not sure, this question was probably answered already. Sarah, do you feel like your question was answered regarding if you came to campus late and what we would do with labs based on Kathy's conversation with the last student? So I think the problem is coming to St. John's late. The classes are online, but the labs are on campus. So what would they do in terms of their labs?
Hello? Hey, are you guys there?
Yeah, you just
Yep,
cut
we
out
can
for
hear
a
you.
second there.
Can you hear us?
I think she might be having some.
Internet difficulties.
Yeah. Um. Can you hear us, Kathy?
Yeah. Is it
Oh,
me it's me that's dropping?
yeah. Wait a couple seconds to see if her internet picks up.
Hey, it's weird. I'm on campus. I'm really surprised. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
leave and that might help. Hey, do you think?
Okay, yeah, you can do.
All
Yeah,
right,
you can do that.
perfect.
Okay, I'll just be back in a sec.
Perfect. Hassan, do you see any questions here that you think you'd be able to answer,
Um,
or should we wait for
okay,
Kathy?
so yeah, the question about there's a question after Sarah's question about like coming late on campus. There's a question from Sam. Um, they're asking if I do CS 1003, does it improve my chance of getting into CS? I think that would be a very important question that Kathy would have to answer because she said that you need 1001 and 1002. Um, but I'm not so sure if 1003, like getting a good grade in 1003 could help improve your chance or not. So we could wait for Kathy to come back and answer that question.
Yeah, she's just having some problems with the
Yeah,
Wi-Fi on campus.
and even if but even if any one of you guys have any questions after the session, you can always email Kathy, and here is the email address. I'll just put it again in the chat. Uh, give me a second.
And then one student said, "Hi, I have an easy question. Can I ask?" Yeah, you can definitely throw it in the chat or turn on your mic if you'd like. Um, okay, so
Oh,
Kathy's back
I'm
there.
back.
Okay, perfect. We
Hey,
can hear
Kathy.
you. We can hear
Hey.
you good. Yeah.
the question I was gonna ask is like, if I do this semester online, can I just simply switch to on campus for the winter semester? Would that be a problem?
No, I mean, from the computer science perspective, again, like as long as you've got credit for the required courses that are required for eligibility, it doesn't matter to us. We won't even know if you did them online or on campus. We just look that you've got credit and then we look at the grades.
Okay, thank you.
There's also another student who asked, "Does doing 1003 improve my chances of getting into computer science?"
No, well, not really. So, I mean, the only way it might is if, and again, you need to confirm with me in a few months when this is decided, but if we look at the overall cumulative average, and then if we also look at the average of just the computer science courses, and that's what I think we're going to do, but I'm not sure. So what we'll do is we'll take the best of those averages. So if you have, a couple of really bad semesters with your electives, and so maybe your overall average is pretty low, but if your computer science average is higher, maybe you've aced your computer science courses, it could help in that way. But that would be it really. So yes, I guess it could help. It could help because if the CS grades are higher. But again, I want you to check with me because I'm not certain that we're going to just look at the CS grades. We might do like CS and math together or something like that. We're talking about a few different options. We just feel like just looking at the cumulative average is not sufficient because there could be students that have really high CS grades and their average may be brought down by, other courses, and we don't want to exclude those students.
Perfect. So we also have another question from Sarah beforehand. Um, so they're getting their study permit late and they're going to arrive to St. John's late. Their classes are online, but their labs are on campus. So they're wondering what they can do about their labs.
Right. So there is definitely the expectation that students will be attending the in-person labs. So if a student can't make the labs for a period of time because they're not able to get here, they need to reach out to their instructor to talk about that. But if you're taking the remote course here or taking the course from here, you've definitely got to attend the labs. I think they'll make allowances for the first couple of weeks, and I'm not exactly sure how. Maybe they'll make the rest of your labs worth more or something. I don't know. But it would only be temporary for the beginning of the semester. And the instructor, you need to ask your instructor because they will give you the information you need on that.
A student said, "I have a question. May I ask them?" So yeah, you're free to ask any question you have. You can turn on your mic if you prefer, or you can just type them in the chat. So you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Um, I have a question.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay, thank you. I'm an international student, so I don't think, and right now I'm still waiting for my visa. It's still about arriving to St. John's late, though. I don't think I've not yet got my visa to travel yet. So I wanted to try to change from remote to online, but most of the classes they didn't have remaining space anymore. So I have to just go with the remote that way. But what I'm afraid of is if I'm not able to get my visa early. Is there any way that I can just switch to online? Possible.
Right. So we're offering one course online, which is 1,001, but it is full. You're right. Right now anyway, or at least it was yesterday. I haven't checked today. I assume it still is. We do have, now I don't, maybe it won't happen this year because there are probably a lot of students that are in your situation, but normally we do have a lot of students drop that course leading up to even into the second week of classes. Like quite a few students usually drop the course. So I think you should keep an eye on self-service. Like I would check it a few times a day if you're able and grab a spot if one becomes available. I think there's a pretty good chance you'll be able to get in that way. If not, you can take computer science 1,001 and 1,002 together in the winter. So if you're able to do your other courses online that are required for eligibility, so math, English or CRW, those courses, then you could do the two CS courses in the winter together. I don't know if math and English and those other areas are offering, I don't know if their online courses are full or not, I'm not sure. I checked the other day and there were some CRW courses that had spaces that were being taught remotely. There was I think it was a history course. No, it was folklore. Sorry, the folklore CRW course had space, a bunch of spaces actually. So yeah, you could take the two CS courses together in the winter, but hopefully you will be able to get into 1,001 if you keep checking self-service.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
And then Lou asked, "Does the score of competitive computer science only consider computer science or the average score of all courses?"
Right, so we're going to look at the average score of all courses. Definitely we're going to look at that. And we're going to look at a second average as well. And I'm not certain yet what that will be. We need to discuss it with faculty members in the fall. I think it will focus on the computer science courses. I don't know if it'll be just your computer science courses. It might be your computer science and math. I'm not sure. So I don't want to say right now because I just really don't know. But if you check with me like November, I'll know, I should know for sure then, even October maybe. But we definitely plan to look at a couple of different averages and we'll take the best of those.
Another student said if they can ask a question about 1,001. So yeah, you can go ahead and turn on your mic and ask that question.
I'm sorry for bothering you again, but my question about 1001 is you talked about the online course. I was just curious why does everyone drop it?
I think it's just in a normal semester. I mean, I don't know. I guess the answer is I don't know. we also get students dropping the in-person 1001. I think a couple things. I think with the online course, I think sometimes students get into it and they realize they don't like online learning. This is pre-COVID now. And I think the reason the 1001 is just dropped a lot in general, I think it's because we get some students who are just kind of taking it as an elective. Maybe they're doing who knows what, chemistry or economics or something. And then they get into it in the first week and they're just like, yeah, you know, computer science isn't for me. So that's what I think, but I mean, I'm not really sure. But we do have a lot of students drop that course. I mean, it's not like half the class or anything, don't get me wrong, but certainly it would be like, you know, a dozen or even maybe 15 students sometimes.
Um, sorry, one more follow-up. You know how you said about how I should keep checking every day? So like, how does that work? So like, I put the CRN in, and then what do I do exactly? How do I check?
So my view is different than yours. So actually, maybe Hassam, you might be able to answer this better than me, but I think if you check for the actual course, like you described with the CRN, I think you can see, can't you see if the capacity is at max? Yeah,
Well,
okay, I was nodding.
it sort of gives you three options. It's like first one, it'll let you in. Second, it will waitlist you. Third one, it will literally tell you flat out this one's. It'll give you like a red dot and say you can't go in. So how do I check? Is my question.
So I can just if you go into your MUN self-service and you go into course offerings for the fall, if you just search up the course you're looking for, so if it's 1001, just search up like 1001, computer science will come up, and then it'll tell you if the class is at max, if there's anyone on the wait list, and if there's people on the wait list, you know that, you know, people are still waiting to get in and that class is still full, right? So it'll tell you how many students they allow in the class, how many students there are in the class. So you don't have to type in the CRN and try to get into the class. You can simply just search it up and you can see that way.
And the wait lists have been dropped
Great,
now.
thank you.
So they were dropped, I think it was the 23rd of August. So at this point, whoever grabs the space first gets it. Doesn't matter where you were on the wait list. If there's a space and you register, you'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So another student said, could you tell me where these meeting recordings are available? So we have a bunch of sessions this week. So on Friday, we're going to be posting all of the recorded sessions onto D2L. You should all have already been added into MUN 101 on your D2L page, and they're all going to be in there. So if you don't exactly know how to get to your D2L, just let us know and we'll show you how, but that's where you're going to be able to find the meeting recordings.
Also, you'll find the recordings on the YouTube channel, I believe, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure what is the YouTube handle, what's the username, but we can definitely tell you guys later. Or you can just follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page as well. It's MUN Science Orientation.
Yeah. So I think that was oh no, we had a question about the CRW courses. I'm trying to see if they elaborated on that. So the question was just, do you have any idea of the CRW courses? I'm not entirely sure what you mean, or if you're just asking what are some CRW courses that you could take.
I believe Kathy has answered that question, but yeah, Kathy, if you have any more insights you want to tell us.
Well, I'll just share my screen again, because, and I know there's probably a better way to get to this, but the way I always get to this, so you can see my screen, right?
It's loading right now. It's a
Okay,
blank screen.
so tell me when you can see it. Still not there?
Yeah, it's just a gray screen.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was there for
man.
a second, then it...
Okay, hang on now. Let me try again.
Yep,
Okay,
it's
so it's on? Okay. So again, this is our website in the undergrad tab I've clicked. So if you go to the frequently asked questions, there is a question here about CRWs. Gosh. So can I use English? Is this the one? Yes, okay. So we get asked a lot, can I use English 1020 and 1021 to satisfy the CRW requirement? So this has a link to the calendar. I mean, you could just go to the calendar and find it that way, but I always go through our website because I just find it faster than going to the calendar. So yeah, 6122, this regulation here lists the CRW courses. So there they are. And this should be up to date because this is the current calendar. So there's a bunch in a lot of different subjects. The English courses are listed there as well, and then all the other subjects. So the one I checked the other day was Folklore 1005. I was meeting with a student, and that one at that point had 6 or 7 spaces. I didn't check any of the others. But yeah, I think the way it works is if a course has a name that starts with critical reading and writing in, I think it's considered a CRW.
So I think that was all the questions from students. I'm not sure if I missed any, so if I did miss your question, just you can type it in again. I would definitely recommend, if you have any other questions, if you're confused about the courses you're taking, to definitely give the email we put, Hassan wrote a couple minutes ago. Just a quick email, and tell them your problems, because they'll definitely be able to help you out. If you don't have that email or you didn't see it in the chat, just let us know and we'll put it in again. There you go. Hassan just did that. But yeah, so that is all for the session, unless anyone has any last minute questions. Other than
Last
that,
minute.
oh yeah, go right ahead.
I'm sorry, but do you remember that link that you showed, Miss, I forgot what was her name, Kathy?
Yep.
The link where you showed the 3 different 1001 computer science courses, the one that was online, the one that was semi, and the one that was completely on campus. Can you please put that link in the chat?
So you mean, oops, was it, you can see my screen, right? So was it this here where it showed the
Yeah,
1000? Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and definitely just like, yeah, I agree that email the CSU grad account if you have any questions, absolutely. But also, I really think you should check our website out, because I find I get a lot of email, especially the first couple weeks of classes. And a lot of them are questions that are answered on the website. And I mean, I don't mind getting the emails. It's just that when I have 100 or 200 email in the inbox, it takes a while to get through them. So if it's a super quick question that you can find on the website, you might have to wait 3 days for me to get back to you. So I just want to just real quick, I'll just show. So all the different computer science programs, there's information on them here. And there's course listings of the courses you need to take and that kind of thing. That's all there. The frequently asked questions I mentioned, the course information, there's a lot of detail, as well as and first year course selections too. We've got that information here. Tentative course offerings for the whole year. And one other thing I was going to mention. Oh yeah, the other thing is you can always book a meeting with me as well. So you can book the meeting through Navigate. I don't know how many people use Navigate, but I'll put the link in here. So that is the best way to book a meeting with me, because it links directly to my calendar. So it will show you all the times that I'm free, and then you can just choose a time that works for you. And it's just in both of our calendars.
Yep.
I would. Yeah, I
Go
just
ahead,
wanted to say
Hassan.
like one last thing regarding Navigate. Like it's a very important app that a lot of departments at MUN are using. Like the career development office is using. You could always book an appointment if you wanna, review your resume or CV or cover letter, maybe for the CS internship program, co-op program, or just in general. And also, I believe the internationalization office also takes appointment using Navigate. So check the link that Kathy just sent and download the Navigate app and log in with your MUN credentials, username and password, and then you can book an appointment with a lot of offices here.
Perfect. So with that said, I'm gonna make some final notes, just about the general orientation that's going ahead this week. So again, at 1 o'clock, we have our physics session just on WebEx like this one. I would definitely recommend if you're considering maybe a computer science physics joint degree, if you have to take a course, if you just have a general interest in it. We're also doing tours around the important facilities at MUN that you'll need to know as a science student and also as just a first or second year student that is stepping into MUN for the first time. So if you want to register for that, the link should be in your email, and it's also on all of our social medias, which is just MUN Science Orientation. So I would definitely recommend signing up for that if you haven't. We also have some great prizes for you guys to win. So yeah, I want to thank Kathy for sharing some computer science information with us today, and also to the students for coming in and learning a little bit more about science at MUN. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I'll
See
say
you
one
later.
last thing.
Thank you.
Oh, sure.
No, it's regarding today's schedule. So we also at 3 p.m. will have like a Facebook Live on our MUN Science orientation, the one I just posted on the chat. Let's Talk Science is a volunteer organization. They will speak more about like ways to volunteer as a science student. So definitely check it out. It's going to be on Facebook Live, no WebEx meetings. So yeah, thank you everyone, and thank you, Cassie, for the information.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, guys.
See you later.
See you.
Bye-bye.